What is creatine? Creatine is a peptide, which is 3 amino acids together, and it's synthesized in the body by the liver and the kidneys. So it's already found in our bodies. It's part of the pathway that makes ATP, which is an energy molecule in the cell. The more ATP, the more energy a cell has. 95% of creatine is found in skeletal muscle. So it makes sense that if you supplement additional creatine, that the performance of the skeletal muscle would be better. That's where the fitness industry started using creatine probably about 40 years ago, when performance enhancement supplements were becoming more popular. There are a ton of studies about creatine. Not as many human studies, but a lot of animal studies and cell studies at the cellular level that does show that supplementing creatine increases phosphocreatine, which then increases ATP. So there's some molecular basis for the rationale of supplementing with creatine. Proposed mechanisms in the actual human body is that the increase of phosphocreatine to creatine ratio increases the capacity for rapid ATP resynthesis during high intensity exercise. Also, creatine in the muscle cells can increase the osmolality, easy for me to say, thereby drawing more water into the cell, which causes cell swelling, and this is thought to be a stimulus for cell growth. So those are the 2 ways in the skeletal muscle that creatine can increase performance and muscle growth. It does require the person to be very hydrated and exercise. You can't grow muscle with creatine just sitting on the couch. Most of the studies do show an increase in muscle mass and performance, but those are all linked to people as doing resistance training as well. So it's hard to say if it's totally just the creatine or if there's the effect of the increased exercise and hydration. Either way, it helps. There's also a lot of data about the safety. And when it first was introduced, there was some concern about kidney issues and muscle cramping. Those have all been, in the studies, kind of debunked. And the safety of creatine has been shown over and over again, especially if you have healthy kidneys and a healthy urinary system. So in somebody without healthy kidneys, they want to be more careful with any supplements, honestly. Why is this important in menopause? Well, they've also found that decreasing estrogen decreases creatine. So the theory is that as you get into menopause, naturally making less creatine, supplementing creatine is going to help more in women of those ages than even younger men and younger women. Well, what I wasn't able to find is if there was any studies showing that taking hormone replacement increases the creatine levels again. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but taking creatine does seem to be more important in this stage for women because of that fact. Again, all those studies had people doing exercise, resistance training as well, so most positive benefits could be the exercise, not just the creatine, but the combination. There's also some theories about creatine having additional benefits, including cognitive, mood, basically brain function benefits. And this is because creatine is found in the brain, phosphocreatine, and the brain uses a tremendous amount of energy. So it makes sense that a supplement that can increase the energy mechanism of the cell is going to help brain function overall. And that there are some studies that showed increased or better moods in people taking creatine along with their antidepressant medications. And there are some suggestions that a hormone called brain-derived neurotropic factor can be increased in people that take creatine, although this is also increased with vigorous exercise. So again, creatine with exercise seems to have the most benefit for increasing tolerance for high-intensity exercise, muscle building, and potentially some positive neurologic effects in the brain. Mostly important for women because we've shown that creatine decreases as estrogen goes down. It's safe, easy to take, doesn't seem like a lot of downsides. Are the benefits, very sure that it's creatine and not the exercise and hydration? I would say it's not totally clear, but because there's not a lot of downsides, it can be worth it if it's a motivator to get you to move and drink more water. Hope this helps. Have a great day.